Hey everybody, you're looking at $10 lobsters, just one of many of the incredible food that I experienced while I was traveling throughout Vietnam. Some incredible foods, as well as a theme park that's like a Disneyland. Experiences I'll never forget. I had to share them with you here on YouTube. Before I show you the amazing theme park called Vin Wonders, I'll start off in Da Nang, Vietnam. I'll feature another hotel here. This is the Cecilia Hotel. I found this to be an extremely good quality hotel for the price. I had a junior suite here for about $40 a night. You can get a standard room from as low as $25 to $28 a night. But overall, the prices were great. The rooms are very clean, the facilities were modern, everything was beautiful, service was excellent. I had a great experience at Cecilia Hotel. As you can see, it's a quality hotel for a very good price. After a long trip traveling to Vietnam, one thing you want to be sure of is to have a good hotel ready and waiting. Another good thing to have ready and waiting is a hot meal. And I felt like something hot. The weather was kind of cold and I wanted something hot. This is Korea Barbecue House. It's located right behind one of the hotels that I stayed at. They have good quality Korean barbecue, the traditional kind, as well as the hot stone bowls with steaming hot soft tofu soup and clams. Remember, all details are in the description below. I've been to Da Nang many times, but I've never showcased one of the main draws, which is the Dragon Bridge. On weekends around 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, they do a little free show where the dragon spews fire and water. And it's pretty packed. A lot of people come to see this. I was surprised to see that there were many people who've never seen it before. Just from listening to the people and the crowd around me, some people have never seen this. They had no idea what the show was. There are many kinds of boat tours that tour around the Dragon Bridge and around the river. I've never taken the tour myself, but it looked pretty nice depending on what kind of boat you get. Looking at this one, I saw people on the top deck. It looked pretty luxurious. Maybe I'll take a boat tour next time. The dragon show is pretty much the dragon spewing fire a few times and then it'll spray water. So people who know what to expect go right up under it and they get wet from it. It's similar to some of the free shows on the Las Vegas Strip, like the Mirage Volcano. You kind of look at it and go, whoa, and then that's pretty much it. The atmosphere was pretty crowded and lively, similar to a night market. There was a lot going on. And that's why I love Vietnam is there are so many things to do. You can go out and just find things to do. There are places where people congregate. Even though it may not be spectacular, you see the people, you enjoy what life has to give you, including refreshments like this, coconut ice cream or something similar to that. It's just a fun atmosphere everywhere you go. If there's one lesson that COVID taught me was to appreciate life and everything that life has to offer. I may even get on one of these tour boats. They actually look pretty decent. Here's a clip from Madam Land's restaurant. A few videos ago, I did a feature on Madam Land's restaurant in Da Nang. They have a live tank with catfish and some sea bass, I think. But look at the whiskers on that guy. That catfish was pretty impressive. I love these restaurants that have live seafood or live fish, and also as well the markets. This is the Lotte Center. They also had live tanks. It's the supermarket that's located in Lotte Mart or Lotte Center. The supermarket at Lotte Center gets most of the attention. They have food for tasting and a variety of things that make it a pretty impressive supermarket. As far as the market goes, I found it to be a pretty decent market. Fresh produce, fresh fruits, large selection, but I loved the prepared foods. That was what was impressive to me. Chicken for $1.28 a piece. Big pieces of fried chicken. They even had prepared bowls, all kinds of noodles and skewers, Vietnamese cuisine, Korean cuisine, American cuisine, just about anything you could find. Everything looked really inviting and it looked convenient. If I lived near this market, I'd probably come here for getting my meals. You don't really have to cook. Everything's pretty much prepared. It gives you a very convenient option for eating dinner or lunch, especially if you're busy with work. Like most people in the United States are pretty busy with work and the daily routine. The variety and the selection here was impressive. Lotte is huge in Korea. They even had the famous triangle kimbap. Kimbap is similar to sushi, but it doesn't have raw fish, just like vegetables and meats. The Korean version. But this market also had sushi as well. This market kind of resembled markets in Korea. It even brought the street food options, just like the way they have it on the streets in Korea. Fish cakes, rice cakes, and more. The food looked enticing. I could probably gain weight here, as well as the pictures of food. This is a small restaurant inside the food court. Their pictures looked amazing, but they were closed, so I didn't get to try any of the items in the pictures. But it did give me a craving for Korean fried chicken. Now, I don't remember the name of this restaurant. I can't remember which one I decided on going to, but there's a number of Korean fried chicken places in Vietnam. One of the chains in Vietnam is called Von's Chicken. V as in Victor, O-N-S, Von's Chicken. There seem to be a number of those, but it did give me my Korean fried chicken fix because I was craving it. This next short clip is from a buffet called Yen Yakiniku. It's similar to the Dum Dum buffet I did on my last video. They have an incredible amount of items, sushi, meats, salads. Check the description below if you're interested in going. Very impressive. Quality food, huge selection, all for about $10 to $20. Welcome to Nha Trang in English. The pronunciation is actually more closer to Nha Trang, which is different. It's the English letters that throw me off with the Vietnamese language. Let me show you this amazing hotel that I stayed at, Panorama Nha Trang by HLG. I got a junior suite for about $28 a night with a balcony. The room with the city view is $28 a night. You can get an ocean view for a little bit more. They have different kinds of rooms with different views for different fees. But for $28 a night, I'll take the city view. While I was here, I made sure I visited the Vin Wonders amusement park. There's a few of them in Vietnam, all owned by the Vin Group or the Vin Pearl Group. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's Vin Group. To get to this amusement park, you have to actually take a cable car or a speedboat because it's on its own island. The cable car was under maintenance, so we had to take the speedboat. It's about a 20-minute ride by speedboat, and as far as I know, these are the only two ways to get to the amusement park. There might be some other options as well, but this amusement park was amazing. It was huge. They had incredible things here. This is the technology world. And similar to most amusement parks, they had sections that were centered around a theme. I was pretty impressed with the technology world. I think that's what it's called. It could be Future World, but I'm pretty sure it was Technology World. They had the latest technology with VR, virtual rides, all kinds of arcade games. And these arcade games didn't require tokens. They were all free. You just stepped up to it and pushed start. Everything was covered by the entry fee of $30. I don't know if the prices fluctuate, but it's between $30 and $40. Quite a bargain for what you're going to get. Incredible rides. They have all kinds of rides, and this Tata Dark ride, this is something that I was really looking forward to. Unfortunately, this ride was closed on the day that we came. It was a rainy day, and there was a lot of shows and a lot of rides that were closed because of the weather, but it was still worth it. I just regret that I wasn't able to experience this amazing ride with incredible visual effects. It kind of reminds me of It's a Small World ride at Disneyland or Pirates of the Caribbean. It gets very hot in Nha Trang, and sometimes the sun can be overwhelming. It would be cool to be able to get on a ride like this and just enjoy all the visual effects. If you get really hot, you can enjoy their water park. They have a water park that's fully equipped with everything that a modern water park would have. On the day that we visited Vin Wonders, it was rainy and it was actually kind of cold. But there were still some really amazing things to see, such as this underwater aquarium. Very impressive. It's comparable to all the ones that I've been to in California and in Las Vegas and in other cities that I've visited. Stunning. The park was set up really well with really nice facilities. For those that wanted to enjoy the water rides, they had huge locker rooms with showers and everything, and they even had this submarine ride. From what I understand, the submarine ride only operates on weekends, and you have to make a reservation a few days to a week, maybe more, in advance. If you ever visit Vin Wonders, expect to walk a lot. The park is spread out and it's huge. It's a very large park and there are some steep walkways. There are escalators throughout the park to help you get to your destination. They even have a zoo. The thing about the rhinos here, they didn't really have them caged. They had a ditch, and it seemed like if a rhino was really angry, it could probably jump across that ditch and gore you. I don't know. I didn't want to think about it, but when they started getting angry and fighting, I just kind of walked away, moved on to the flamingos. More pleasant. Lucky for us, the day was cool, but when the sun did come out for even just a little while, it got really hot. You're gonna eventually have to take a break. This is Loteria. This is kind of like a fast food joint. Has burgers and fried chicken, and actually it was pretty good. The only thing that I didn't like was I think it was a beef teriyaki. It seemed very processed. The burger wasn't the best I had, but it was still pretty solid, and the fried chicken was delicious. I love the fact that Vietnam has fast food and foods that you're familiar with as a Westerner. Or if you're from the US, you can always get a good burger or fried chicken or pizza or just about anything. This amusement park has a variety of shows scheduled throughout the day. Although, depending on the weather, some shows might get canceled, such as this bird show, which was more amusing than I thought it would be. I was actually having a good time before it started to rain, and they had to end the show early, right after they started. They have some amazing shows here, including a dolphin show, just like SeaWorld. Quite impressive for an amusement park in Vietnam. This amusement park does not fall short in any manner. In fact, I would say it's one of the best I've been to. During the rain, the trainers brought the birds out because we were covered from the rain. I couldn't believe the kid slapped the bird out of the trainer's hand. You see that look on his face? He's probably thinking, boy, if your parents weren't here. Even with the cancellation, we still had a great time at this amusement park. They had some cutting edge stuff, such as a zip line that comes all the way down from the top of the mountain all the way to the bottom. I was really disappointed about the cancellation of this show, the Tata show. The Tata show is the finale at the end of the evening. It's kind of like the fireworks at the end of the day at Disneyland. You can see for yourself, this show seemed spectacular. It's too bad I didn't have a chance to see it. Back in the city of Nha Trang, I wanted to get some seafood. Everything in Nha Trang is a little bit cheaper. I loved the prices here. They had some freshwater lobster in a live tank. I was able to get some for as low as $10 per lobster for about a 4 to 8 ounce lobster tail, usually around 6 ounces. They had razor clams with vegetables. They even had scallops covered with cheese. They had the garlic lobster, the fresh oysters. We even got some grilled oysters as well. You can have an incredible feast for about $60. Vegetables and clams in a broth. They even had a lobster covered with cheese. This was one of my favorite items. I love cheese on lobster. If you've never tried it, you gotta try it. Cheese over lobster. Incredible. Similar to lobster mac and cheese without the macaroni. Actually, just cheese and lobster. That's all you need. Clams were fresh, lobsters, oysters. Now, there are better places, but we just happened by a random one. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of this restaurant either. There were a couple places that were just too busy and too crowded. We couldn't get our reservation. But they had everything I needed here. It just wasn't one of the premium ones, but I had a great time. Sorry, I don't remember the information, but you could go and explore on your own. You'll probably find a good place. There's tons of them. The lobsters went well with the sauce. The food was just great. Then we headed back to Da Nang. And Da Nang is also a beach city. And Da Nang also has some good food of its own. This is Ichiban Sushi. I found that the quality of sushi here was really good. Very fresh, pretty impressive for a random place that I found. Here's the grape seaweed salad and very fresh octopus. They even had super fresh scallops, presented very beautifully. And talking about presentation, the oysters were presented in an incredible way with a little bit of fish roe and grape seaweed over the top. Very colorful, fantastic presentation. And the quality was superb. Incredibly fresh oysters. And they had a variety of sushi, anything you want. Let me take a moment to mention some places in Nha Trang. I forgot to mention Kiwami Japanese restaurant. I didn't film, I was too busy eating. But look at this tab that I rang up. It looks like a lot, but the total only came out to be $70, and I ate lights out. Another impressive place was the Gold Coast Shopping Center food court. They only had a few shops, but what impressed me was that they had a bowling alley right next to the food court. What a cool place to hang out. You can go bowling and you can order smoothies or whatever you were feeling. They had some meat dishes like a hot pot or a barbecue, arcade games, and they had a Korean snack shop with black bean noodles. I love the black bean noodles and I rave about it all the time, but until you have it and develop that addiction, you probably wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But a sweet and flavorful sauce with great flour noodles, one of my favorites. I was just amazed that I could find this in a place that had a bowling alley. Now, in Da Nang and Nha Trang, there are numerous noodle shops, and don't think that I didn't eat Vietnamese food. I ate it almost every day. You just can't go wrong with nice hot bowls of noodle with vegetables and meats, flavorful savory broth, just a perfect combination of vegetables, just perfect. It's a very cost-effective destination for a vacation, as a lot of tourists are beginning to find out. These days it's so crowded, you gotta make your hotel reservations early. But as far as the food and activities, you can see from my videos, numerous places to eat at, tons of food, and if you love the Vietnamese cuisine, you will have a blast. There's so many good random noodle places. Now, some places are better than others. Some of them have quite a reputation for being good. They're usually more crowded. But if you ever find one where the soup or the broth is a little less than you expected, you can always spice it up because they have so many different spices, such as chilies and their shrimp paste and other sauces that will enhance the flavor of your noodles. But if you find a good one, or you know of one from the reviews, everything is so good and perfect, it needs very little. But I fell in love with the pickled garlic or the pickled shallots. Everything was just perfect. So that's about all the videos that I have from Vietnam. So this is kind of like the finale of my Vietnam travels. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.